Will The Rock be our president one day? Hello, lovely YouTube family. Welcome back to Celebrity Binge. In today's videos, we are going to talk about will The Rock be our president one day? Before we start, I would want you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Dwayne Johnson gave the strongest indication to date that he is considering a future presidential candidacy when he shared a screenshot of a Newsweek article stating that as many as 46% of Americans would support him. Humbling. I don't think our founding fathers ever envisioned a 6'4", bald, tattooed, half black, half Samoan, tequila drinking, pickup truck driving, fanny pack wearing guy joining their club. But if it ever happens, it'd be my honor to serve you, the people. Read the caption. Whether he will actually follow through on that statement remains to be seen, though we talked to a number of Washington insiders last year who believe that his interest in a presidential run is sincere. You can read that story below. For a brief moment in the kaleidoscopic hellscape of 2020, there was a chance. A tiny chance that, amid all the kakistocracy, boomer hijinks, establishment buffoonery, and dismay, a hero might break through the wall of American decline, shout Thomas Jefferson, sucka, with the force of a gale, and save us all from ourselves. That hero would have become legend. That hero would have invigorated the divided and disaffected masses. That hero would have been forever. That hero would have been Dwayne Douglas "The Rock" Johnson. On June 5 of this year, The Rock was listed by oddsmakers as the third most likely person to win the American presidency. Bookmakers currently have The Rock priced at plus 40,000, one report went, which suggests there's only a 0.2% chance the WWE star will win the 2020 election. That week, a little more than 3% of bettors laid down their markers on The Rock, odds that would have made Buster Douglas in Tokyo look like a lock. The catalyzing episode for The Rock's surge wasn't the announcement of a third-party electoral stunt or the revelation of some fast or furious putsch. It was simply a monologue. In an Instagram post on June 3rd, Johnson delivered a strong indictment of the president and made a heartfelt call for justice in the wake of police violence and ongoing civil unrest. America is crippled and on its knees, Johnson explained, and it needed leadership. Nearly anything that Johnson broadcasts to his 200 million Instagram followers probably qualifies as viral, but this one made national news and stoked considerable pundit chatter. The Rock just gave a more presidential speech than Trump, one CNN headline offered. Maybe one day that galvanizing leader will emerge, the captain of the Post augured, but when that might happen was anybody's guess. Well, for today at least, it seems all but determined that The Rock will not be sworn in on the Capitol building's West Front come January 20, 2021. The notion of a third Johnson U.S. presidency has proven itself to be surprisingly durable. 2 weeks after his Instagram address, Johnson received the coveted, albeit unsolicited, Joe Rogan endorsement for the presidency. But the link between the People's Champ and the People's House actually goes back an entire score. Back in 2000, The Rock, as he was singularly known to the world then, was invited to the Republican National Convention in Philadelphia. He may have been the most curious standout, even among a list of attendees that included Gerald Ford and Nancy Reagan, sure, but also Ben Stein, Bo Derek, Bruce Willis, and Hank Williams Jr. There he bantered with the media, including one truly gobsmacked C-SPAN reporter, about the unheralded, more wholesome attributes of pro wrestling before addressing the convention body with his sunglasses on. What future historians may determine notable about his 2000 RNC appearance is that The Rock, who was not yet 30 years old, was already displaying his calculating political savvy to the nation. In Philadelphia, Johnson didn't endorse George W. Bush or even mention his name. Instead, he spoke of an appreciation for the RNC organizers, who had chosen to consider the hero of tens of millions of wrestling fans worthy of a spot on the days. You might say he was there solely to establish, if you will, The Rock's block. Thank you for recognizing the passion and potential power of those fans, who will no doubt elect the next president of the United States, the hulking showman offered in a clever sleight of hand. In hindsight, the only potentially polarizing thing that Johnson did at the RNC that year was end his speech by introducing America's best-known former high school wrestling coach, Dennis Hastert, then the Speaker of the House, whose coaching legacy would eventually face some closer scrutiny. One truth about career trajectories in American politics, especially in recent decades, is that they can both ignite and incinerate in virtually no time at all. 1 week after The Rock would cook at the 2000 RNC, Barack Obama, then an unknown junior member of the Illinois State Senate, would try and fail to secure a floor credential at the 2000 Democratic National Convention in Los Angeles. You might remember how the rest of the story goes. At the following DNC in 2004, Obama would deliver the keynote address, and, at the one after that, in 2008, Obama would formally receive the party's presidential nomination. And finally, Obama would ultimately be succeeded in office by someone whose resume held no political laurels at all. There are a lot of things about the American political system that make it particularly vulnerable to this, Libby Watson, who covers politics for the New Republic, tells Inside Hook. Obviously, there's the fact that anyone can run for president, essentially. In the UK, for example, the Prime Minister is always the person who leads the party that has the most votes, so they can create a government and parliament. For someone to become Prime Minister, they have to become an MP first, and that's a whole thing. So it's very difficult for an outsider to infiltrate the political system very fast. This dynamic speaks to the quixotic ideals that make America so enchanting and infuriating. The presidential bar is low, which means that any 35-year-old person of any background, other than foreign-born naturally, can ascend to the highest office. Millard Fillmore, Lincoln, and LBJ are just a few in a handful of presidents who rose up from poverty. Herbert Hoover was orphaned young and worked in the mines. Grover Cleveland married his adopted daughter and was elected to non-consecutive terms, which aren't exactly hardships per se, but are interesting all the same. That's all for today. I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so that you never miss any amazing video from us.